Good afternoon, love, and good afternoon, light. And thank you for joining me again, Wendy, with Languages of Lights, and Alicia with Temple Beautiful, as we share with you this amazing full moon energy today. This is just another impromptu galactic gathering. All the pieces of the puzzle came together today, just like it did yesterday with Sal and I. I wanted to thank all of you for joining us yesterday live or in the replays. Thank you so much. And even that was a synchronicity that came up this morning with Alicia and I, because she had been guided to get in contact with Sal. So there we have that. So that was an interesting introduction to our morning. And I was having some amazing synchronicities this morning. So today really is about completions of cycles. And that was one of the things I was really guided this morning to share. So even in just the last few minutes that she and I have been talking, because we only planned this within the last 10 minutes.
This has to be the most random.
I
mean, we're always really random, but guys, this was like the most random ever. Let me tell you.
When I woke up this morning, or even before I went to bed last night, I was taking pictures of the full moon and I was seeing crafts around the moon. And I even took photos of them, posted them on Facebook today. So, so part of this is about completing the belief systems that we're alone in the universe. Because guys, let's face it, they're here. We already know that. So that's part of this process of all of this, coming to full disclosure. Today's date is 10/24/2018, depending on where you are in the United States, depending on where you are in the world. I'm in the United States, and I found it very synchronistic today that being today's date equals 9. And the number 9 for all of us, of course, represents completion. It's the last number in the cycle before we begin again, starting with the number 1. So we've got that going on. And then here in the United States, in the central time zone, the exact time of the full moon was 11:45 a.m. So we've got the 11 energy of the master portal, and we've also got the number 9 again. So we've got the 9, and then of course, if you add 9 and 1 and 1, that equals 11.
And I have some more numerology for you. So the card that I picked today was manifestation, which was number 10. So this is like a Mayan. This is the Mayan numbers. Each of these bars is a 5 and a 5 is a 10. So it was on page 134, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then if you add that 1 from the 10, that's 9.
So you just can't make up this stuff.
No.
So they were saying, so I had all of a sudden the floodgates were just really open today for channeling, and I get a lot of channeling in the shower. So I got a huge conversation in the shower today. But as I was sitting outside this morning, I was just having my coffee and kind of not really in I guess you could call it a meditative state, because, you're sitting there. I was getting, just feeling the communion with the trees and the sun. And I'm hearing every time you complete a cycle, you're actually accepting the version of you that you are in that moment, and then you're integrating it. And you're actually then completing the cycle of the version of the being you just were. And knowing that, you are actually no longer them. And you have just now completed a whole new version of you to begin, not to begin, and you have just now created a new, different vibrational version of you. So what we have to do, they were telling me, is you guys have got to integrate and accept that version of you, because what we do is we fight it and we resist it. And then we can't create the new version of us because we keep recreating, we keep staying in the version of our old self because we haven't self-loved that version. We haven't said, okay, I accept this version as me, and I understand I am not healing this version of me at all. I'm letting her, him, it exist in its own complete harmony and let it continue its own timeline While this new awareness of me has now created a brand new version of me in which I am not her. They were showing me very, very explicitly that you are always completing a full cycle every time you move beyond a belief system that you had before that we say doesn't serve you. It means it's not congruent with the versions of yourselves that you can be, but we have got to accept that this is who she is and was in this now in order to completely integrate her instead of fighting, who I am in this now, because then I'm just going to keep staying here on this hamster wheel. I'm never going to complete her cycle, her timeline in order for this new me. And I know how weird this all gets, but again. And so then very interestingly this morning, a good friend of ours dear friend of ours, Jim Charles, that channels from Human Colony, and several other people. His name is Grindel, the entity, and several other people have channeled him over time. And I just happen to have quite an affinity with him, and I'm not even sure why, but he's really helped me out through some stuff. And so today, all of a sudden, as I was sitting out here on the porch having my coffee, all of a sudden I hear Grindel. Now, Grindel is a reptilian being, and he is a Zespod. And now tell me what the name of the race is, Alicia.
The race name is Elia Janda Zendi.
Thank you. Elia Janda Zendi. Okay. Mm-hmm. So for some reason, I've just had a lot of this grounding energy, because I feel reptilian energy to me is very grounding. To me, it's like, because it represents to me like, the earth and the inner earth, but then we also think about, the dragon energy and all that. But the funny thing about it is because the things that he was saying to me, because he was explaining a lot of this stuff to me about these cycles, and then even when he came in so I was having this conversation with him, and I was trying to understand the difference between how we all channel different entities. And I was trying to figure out like how he tries to climb in, to like Jim's body. And so he said to me, and he has said this to me before, he's like, I couldn't even get my tail into you because you're so tiny. And he says, and then I said, well, is this really happening? Am I really having this conversation with you? And he's like, oh my God, you guys are a bunch of weenies. He's like, not only are you shaped like weenies, you act like weenies. And I'm just like, are you actually saying this to me, dude? I was just like, he says, and so he said, well, because I can only get a particular close, I can only get so close to him because the energy is so big. And so then he was I said, well, explain it to me a little bit. And he says, well, it's kind of like, okay, my husband's an electrician in 3D by trade. So he says, okay, it's kind of like trying to like send 220 volts through 110, it doesn't work. And so so I said, but that doesn't make sense to me. I said, because he said, it's energy. He said, I can't fit like all of my energy in
That makes total sense to me, Wendy. I can explain
it to you. Does that even make sense?
I can explain it to you in a term that would make sense for you. If you would like me to.
Go for it.
Okay. So, like when the people are up there fixing the power lines, and like sometimes they get jolted and they like fly down and they start having like convulsive shock syndrome. It's because their body is not equipped to handle that much electric volts. And so like your human organs and your human body can only handle so much electricity before things will just start tapping out.
Short circuit. Yeah.
Yes. And that's the same thing as like when I plug the vacuum cleaner into the same circuit that, the refrigerator is, and it goes boom. Like,
yeah, but so that's exactly what they showed me.
Of him that he didn't want you to go boom,
Yeah. And so, but he was really helping me understand some things. And now as I'm trying to remember exactly the conversation, it was like, well, that was that was between you and I, and so even now as I'm trying to recreate his energy, I'm actually having a hard time doing it because I'm not back in that zone,
Because you're in a new now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm in a new now. But it was just very interesting, the things that he was helping me understand as I was having this conversation. And he said that, that I can channel him anytime. And okay, so this is what I wanted to share with you guys though. Okay, so he was showing me how I could literally sit in a hangout and have a conversation with him, but I am actually asking my questions as me, and then he's going to answer as him, and I'm going to be answering as him. And I'm just like, but ask it. And I was like, okay, this is just, I got to sit.
That makes total sense. And like, so my teams are over here because lately they've been coming in as a collective. And so they're like, see, this is exactly what we've been trying to tell you, and now you get it. And I'm like, oh, okay. So thank you, Wendy. Like I needed to hear that bit about the completing the cycle and the new you and stuff, because that's exactly what I'm going through right now.
And if we could let go of that idea, that if we could just, not let go of, if we could complete the belief system that we are not new every moment, because then it lets us off the hook about the emotional baggage that we believe we need to bring with us in every now. I got to get rid of this. I got to complete this. No, you don't. You need to accept it. You need to love it, accept it, and say, oh, okay, I get it. I accept this version of me as part of me. Yet I already know I don't have to complete. I do not have to continue to repeat that cycle, because I am new in this now. And it was interesting because as I'm channeling Grindel, then a little bee comes flying up and right in front of me. And all of a sudden I hear from the bee, I swear, you guys, I hear from the bee, a bee is flowing and it's showing me the cycle of honey. So we have the sun, and then the flower seeds, then the soil and the rain, and then creates the flower, which creates the pollen, and the unity and the alchemy of all of that then creates the honey, the nectar of alchemy. Now, if a circuit or a circle will never end, just like we were talking about electric circuits, a circuit or a circle will never end, they said to me, unless of course you induce or introduce a break in the circuit, whether it's a break or a block of some form, and you're interrupting the cycle then. And so when we don't accept what is in this now, you literally interrupt the cycle, the circle, the circuit, in order for it to complete. It can't. It just can't. And so it's going to keep trying to send electricity like through a broken cord. It's going to keep trying, but you're going to keep getting shorts until you accept that flow. I'm getting all my hairs are standing up even because the electricity, because it stagnates then. So it's like they're showing me like honey that sits in a honeycomb and just, it never gets the process finished. And then it just sits there and stagnates and rots and becomes foul. And that's exactly what happens like us to our bodies physically. That's why we age. That's why we have disease. That's why because we don't complete the cycle, and we become stagnant. We don't move the energy. Therefore we don't complete the cycle. And so then they said to me at the end, the bee said to me, do you understand? And I'm like, got it.
That's so awesome.
I know. I'm like, okay, all of this just in a few minutes, in like an hour this morning. So then I said to my guides, okay, I was like, well, should I do a video? Or I said, well, I really want to go live right at 11:45, right at the full moon. I said, so, okay, I'll tell you what. I said, if I should do a video, just, I'll just do a video. If I'm supposed to go live or whatever, I said, just, send me a sign and I'll know. And then boom, as soon as I got out of the shower, there was Alicia's message, something like, hey, I don't want to work. What's going on? And I was just like, okay, are you guys freaking kidding me?
Oh my gosh. Wendy, I'm going to sign back out and sign back in. Apparently, whatever we were talking about knocked out my computer camera. And it says, turn your computer camera back on. Well, my camera's on. So it's short-circuited. Wait, short-circuited.
Okay, I'll keep talking. And I'll just keep talking.
Right,
and you
I'll be right back.
See, you guys, you cannot make up this crap. So, hey, I'll just say hi to everybody. Let me say good morning to everybody. That's, let's see. Hi, Michelle, Cosmic Warrior. Hi, everybody. How you guys doing out there? Love you guys. Thanks for being here. So I wanted to complete that thought too, that so a complete new version of you means that you have, oh, hey, welcome back.
Hey,
that was quick.
Nice to be back. Thank you.
So when we have this complete new version of us, we have got to remember then we have a new past. That new version of you has a new past and technically a new future, but all it really is another, they said to me, you're literally completing the view from that perspective of you. And you have now said, I'm ready to move to another side of my fractal and see myself, my perspective, see creation from another point of view. And so by completing that cycle, you're saying, it's like a mountain climber. They're showing me right now, like a visual of a mountain climber saying, okay, I've seen this side. Now I want to go from the other side and see it from this perspective, because the mountain is so vast. I cannot possibly see it even aerially. I can't see it from every perspective. And even today, the colors I'm on, I've got this heart chakra, kind of teal throat chakra.
Same teal heart chakra.
You know what I mean, you guys? Come on. And then I've got the deer here, my power animal, the earth energy. I've got my Native American red grounding. So I was feeling like really grounded to the earth today, but really connected to all that, and bringing that through. And then what did you say? Okay, so this is weird too, you guys. So right before we went live, I flipped over my book, and this has the names of my hybrid children on it. So I laid it down and I said, okay, I want to invite my hybrid children and the hybrid families with me to this gathering today. And what did you say to me right before we went online about the Fendorians?
I said the Fendorians contacted me last night, and this was the first time ever, and I kept hearing, actually, I was in the shower. After I got out of the shower, I kept hearing the word in my head, Fendorian, Fendorian, Fendorian. And I was carrying on a conversation with another starseed, and I said, I don't know why, but the word, the group Fendorian keeps popping in my head, but I don't know much about them. And then all of a sudden, the moment I sent that, excuse me, the moment I sent that, they said, hello, we are the Fendorians. We would like permission to get in contact with, or we would like permission to come through and be in contact with you. And I said, whoa, that's really cool. I know you guys exist. I don't know exactly who you are, so let me do some Googling and I will get back to you.
You're so funny.
Well, I was downstairs in the kitchen and I was making dinner, and they came back and they said, we are the Fendorians. Have you Googled? And I said, wait a minute, guys. Time is different here than it is with you. So, let me finish my dinner and I will get back to you.
I love it. Michelle Kidd says she gives people an electric shock when they touch them. That happens to me a lot too.
I also want to say, so Wendy, what you were talking about, this really drove it home.
I want to go back to the Fendorians too. So don't let me forget.
So this really drove it home. So Ramses and I had been discussing a specific topic about that specific past experience, and it had really bothered me, and he wasn't giving me the information that I wanted, or maybe it just wasn't the way that I wanted the information delivered. And there came this point where I had a whole bunch of growing and a whole bunch of whatever. Like I started talking about the subject, and the moment I got on that topic, there was nothing in my head, nothing. And I said, wait a minute, I was really upset about this. Where did this all go? And he goes, see, he goes, you healed it, and this is a new you. And that's all he said. And I was like,
my
Wendy,
God,
that's exactly what you were talking about. So now it's not there. I don't even think about it. It doesn't even bother me. So I must have, in my dream state, because I've been sleeping a lot and processing a lot, I must have went back and either fixed it or we talked about it or something. Not that my human self remembers, but that I know it's fixed and that I'm a new me and I see it from a new perspective, because that frustration is not there anymore. So it's gone.
And
so,
today's Syrian symbol, you guys can't see it from there. Today's Syrian symbol for number 9 is receive. So here we are receiving all of this new information. You and I both just in the last 20, I'm telling you, just in the last, since yesterday, and
I'm telling you,
and even with the new moon and after, I mean, the full moon, and then after my hangout with Sal, I'm telling you, my energy, you guys, was so high since Sunday that I think I've made, I don't know, I've probably made, and because I haven't even posted them all, I've probably made at least 6 videos and done live hangouts. I don't know what hit me.
You know what I think? Sent this whole thing. Remember when you and I did that massively long activation, and then I stopped it. My portion of it I stopped because I was like, I'm cutting it off. Do you remember that with Will?
Yes.
I think that was the catalyst, because getting back to the Fendorians, I was watching something that Jim had recorded when he was channeling a Fendorian, and they talked about how the Fendorians tend to come through when, or if you get a Fendorian, if you get a Fendorian DNA, what do they call that? When you get some Fendorian DNA, it's all about, usually things coordinate with it, like the Kundalini and the opening of, like, your third eye will open more, and like all these amazing, and you will be more open to channeling, like all this stuff they were talking about, relating it to the Fendorians. And I was like, wow, because that's exactly what's happening to me. In fact, I'm actually wearing my snake necklace today, but that's exactly what's happening to me. And I think the whole thing with Will is sort of what triggered me to ending that old phase of me and opening up a new circle.
Wow, that's, and
so,
seeing, and but you see how tangled that web is too, where you said about Will and bringing Will into the picture.
Yeah,
that's this whole reptilian energy and the serpent energy, the wisdom, the deep,
and the Naga too. They have been very proud. I've gotten a lot of channelings from them.
Melissa Petrosino says, I was in meditation this morning and connected with my dragon self. It was amazing. Michelle said before that, I started climbing mountains as a teenager, and the knowledge and experiences has been so helpful. So interesting how that actually, you know, look at that. You've got a physical thing and you've got a meditation thing, and how and I was just telling, I was also telling Alicia about, you know, I had mentioned the other day, briefly in one of my videos, I think, or in a hangout about, I was speaking with, actually it was my partner, and he said something in a language. And I said, a minute later, I was like, well, oh no, I heard in my head. I said, oh, that sounds like, what is it? I said, it sounds, and I heard reptilian. And then a few minutes later, I said to him, so you know, what were you saying? You know, was that one of your language? I said, is that one of your languages? And he said, yes, it's lizard. And I went, and I was like, okay. So I even asked Grindle about that today. And that's when he gave me that, oh my God, you guys are such weenies. You don't believe anything. He's like, don't you remember? You can't even have this conversation. And I'm like, yes.
Your Grindle impersonation is top notch. Let me just tell you, you make me smile, Wendy. You make me smile.
Because I can feel him. I can feel him like he's, so he's, you know, and it's like I can hear him right now in my head. He's just like, and he kind of comes in kind of like in here. So it's like he's, I can't explain it, you guys, but it's like
so Melissa said that the dragon breathed fire over her energy and cleaned it all up and then integrated with me. And I think that's what's been happening with a lot of us. Like I like that night with Will. Remember how I said that this is the cleanest, or I said, I think the cleanest or the emptiest, but cleanest that I've ever felt. I think a lot of us in our own experiences have been going through a massive cleaning and opening of the chakras to get us to that next circle, or to our next self. And that's where that whole manifesting that true identity is coming through, because that's kind of been the theme with Wendy and myself all week, has been your true identity, working towards your true identity, your true self. And I think this is all part of it.
Oh, absolutely. And I was hearing today too, like the Bashar energy, the Shikani energy. I have Shikani DNA. I have given my DNA. This is also something I've never discussed before, so I just was guided to throw this out there. I have offered to give my DNA to the Shikani that they may continue their own race, because they are also
in need.
I'll thank you for finishing that for me. And so they said to me today, they said, remember that we are all carrying the messages, and regardless of who's coming through in that moment, the messages are still the same ultimate message being conveyed through different frequencies and different languages. But yet they told me it's ultimately the same message. And so it really is about this completion of the cycle, that we are less than we think that we are, and that we're receiving this information every day from these higher aspects. I don't, even they don't like us saying higher, even because
it's
a number. The numbers are higher,
too.
They don't.
Should we really be calling it?
It's hard to be. We say higher because it's a higher number than 3. That's why we think of it in that way. But again, they keep telling me that's a belief system. You guys are on equal measure with all of us. It's just not, because again, we have to categorize. And so I wanted to mention that in the Fandorian thing, as I opened up the book to write, and I had written down my hybrid children's name, and these are my 4, not, I care for many of them on planets and ships and stuff, but I have also Fandorian DNA, and I have a Fandorian daughter, and she was born on 1/11, of course.
Oh my gosh.
Which also happens to be my house here where I live. And anyway, the number 111 and 11 has been prevalent in my life always and forever. And also the other thing I noticed this morning as I was looking at my house, this whole 369 energy was freaking me out, because as I was sitting I was just sitting like in this half meditative state. I had just woken up maybe a half an hour before that. Took Ranger outside. I was just sitting out having my coffee, and I was still in my jammies and my robe and slippers. And I was sitting in the sunshine, and all of a sudden I started, again, just receiving these messages. And they said to me, look at your house. And I was like, what? And I realized I had the windows that were put in my house, I did not choose yet. They said, look at them. They all have those styles in them, with the crisscrosses. And I just had bay windows put in, 2 sets of 3. So it's 3 and 3. Every one of my windows has 3, 6, 9, 12 boxes. And I have 3, 6, 9 windows in the front. I'm like, so I'm adding all this, and I'm looking at all the geometry, and I'm like, okay, what the hell? I'm just like,
that's awesome.
They're like, I know. And just looking, and it's like, but this is why we create our own reality, and we're waking up to the fact that we create our own reality.
Now I'm just looking at the ones in the library, and because those are the only windows I like. Like, we had a guy come in who's supposed to replace some of our older windows, and he said he couldn't do that cross hatching like the historical windows, and so I said no way. So all my windows have that. They have the cross hatching in them. So it's the 3 and the 6 and the. But okay, I gotta go back to your daughter, your Fandorian daughter.
Oh, okay.
This is crazy. Like, you and I should just be one person, maybe. I'm not, so check this out.
I'm gonna
flip that on the other side.
Same oversoul.
So I have a Elia Jandai Zendi daughter.
Oh, come the heck on.
I do. And I wish
I didn't. Now, how could I not know this?
Well, because we don't, you know, that's something we should talk about more.
I had a Fendorian daughter, so there we go.
Isn't that crazy? So we just went full circle. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And she's out of my three hybrid children, she's the only reptilian or zestpod or partial, you know. So, but like she's cool because she's a reptilian, but she's got like hair, like human hair.
Oh, like, my God.
She's adorable. She's adorable. And then like when she showed me last time she showed me to herself, she had bows in her hair, and I was like, oh, you're so my daughter. You're so beautiful. So yeah. Man. That's every time you say something, I'm like, synchronicity.
You got a girly girl. You got a girly girl.
Right, because I have two boys, which are a lot to handle.
Well, I actually have two Yael boys, and I have Fendorian daughter, and I have a Lyran daughter. So, and just for anybody who doesn't know me or doesn't know, you know, Alicia and I very well, or if you're just tuning in, I'm saying only what I'm allowed to say. So, I actually on 4 different planets, am assisting with, I've been put in charge of, or because I want to, I guess.
You and I both do a lot.
All of the hybrid children and all of the planets, and we know exactly who they are, where they are, who their parents are, what they need, what their needs are. And we collectively assist, you know, in this whole process. And so I feel as if they're all my children, but the ones that are mine are, you know, this, well, however you want to define that, because there's a lot of, let's call it blurred lines. Let's just call it blurred lines. But at any rate, I also wanted to mention that I was given these healing stones from my sister.
And we have 28 minutes.
Okay. So we're timing. We're being good girls. So because we need to be disciplined, and we have other things we need to take care of. So I have a raw amethyst, a rose quartz, and a blue and yellow calcite. So this is a healer's bag. And I also have my Lemurian crystal with me as well. So, but what I wanted to show you guys was I was guided one day, and I've shown this in a few of my videos, but I was guided one day to put my golden dragon pin on the bag that holds my healer's crystals. So I found it very interesting today that I was also guided to grab my, you know, golden dragon and my Lemurian. So there's a lot of different energies that are coming through. Is the point, you guys, is that it's not just one thing, or you are not just one thing, or am I Pleiadian? Am I Lyran? Am I? Yes. So it depends on what your perspective is in that moment.
Yes. I was going to say, I think what's happening is that because we are in this new manifestation period, I think that's probably a good way to put it.
A very good way to put it.
That we are working on our brand new selves. And so with that, whatever is in our verse, whatever is in our universe, whatever is in our vibration to help us grow is coming to the forefront more so. The next portion of it is coming to the forefront. So it's actually a really exciting time, because so like Wendy and I, so many things are happening that we just almost can't keep track. Like I should be journaling all this, but like I'm not. And so I'm going to lose it probably unless it's brought up again. But so that's why for everybody, all these new energies are coming in. And those of you maybe who haven't spoken, you know, light language before, are just starting to speak it, or who haven't channeled before, maybe are hearing your first, you know, teams, guides, people coming in. And so should I read just a little bit about this 10 manifestation?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay.
I just have another funny thing to share after that Grandel told me. So yeah, okay. Go for it.
So remember, this is the Mayan. This is how they write their letters. So it's 5 and 5, which is 10. It's the pass key to your true identity. And in this and all the worlds, unlock the gates to the great mystery manifesting through you. intention, motivation, true identity, foundation of essence, self, and aligned manifestation. 10 is the ray of manifestation, the foundation of individual self and manifesting its true identity, the foundation of the essence of self. A potent manifestation awaits you. The two worlds combine. The key to manifestation in all realms is through clear intention and embodiment of your divine essence. What does your heart desire to manifest? By being aligned with your essence, essence aligned with intention creates the etheric thought forms, an energy matrix image, so to speak. As long as it is unrestricted by unlimiting beliefs, the energy pattern evolves and emerges, and it will evolve and align with the larger pattern until finally it is released into a manifestation of a new you. In receiving the number 10, you are being asked to look carefully at your own foundations. What structures and belief systems is your reality really built on? What foundations motivate your choices? You are now creating a new foundation. Wendy, you're now creating a new foundation.
Oh my God.
Walking into all that you are, your essence of self. This is the foundation of your essence self, which emerges, and others will recognize your true identity. And when you are in resonance with the universe, manifestation is a natural byproduct. Unconstrict your vision to include the seemingly impossible by standing outside your linear perceptions, which dictate that things must occur in a step-by-step way. Instead of trying to figure it out with your ego mind, simply resonate with your desired manifestation. And this goes back to what you and Sal were talking about the drawings, help me out here.
Like the symbols and
and how they're not always linear. They go in different directions,
yes.
and people read them differently. Let's just see. By focusing your awareness beyond the static appearance of reality into the generative quantum active aspect of creation, the casual matrix of archetypes and sacred geometry, you can naturally participate directly with that which you desire.
Wow.
So that just brings it home, I think.
Everything you said, everything in that card reading, and she pulled that card before we even started hanging out and did not read any of that to me. And it's really weird because look at how parallel everything that was in that card is everything we talked about today already.
Exactly.
And this is the full moon in Taurus. So we've got this, this earth energy, this, they're asking us to, like, right now, seeing like, the horns as like antenna almost, and the, that bull energy of just, taking the bull by the horns and saying, I'm done with this, whatever, and what is it that I need to receive in order for me to, move through this?
Exactly. One of the channelings that I recently did with automatic writing, and this was the Naga. The Naga came through, which for you guys who don't know, they are like half snake, half human people. And they came through and they told me that I need to understand that I shouldn't be upset at myself for having a period of learning or having a period of stillness where I'm upset because I'm not, things are not coming to me, or I'm not quite understanding, or I'm not growing the way I thought I should grow. They said that that's all in your perception of how you are viewing you, and you need to not feel sorry for yourself. You need to view it as a growing experience, and in order to expand, you have to grow. So it's not, you don't fail. Like, because I tend to be a bit of everybody's really hard on themselves.
Me too.
So like, there I am, like I'm automatic writing and I'm thinking, while this is all coming out on my other side of my brain, I'm like, dang, I've been such a failure lately, blah, blah, blah. I should have this all down. And they're saying, no, that is your perception of you. And that has to change, because we all have our ups and downs in this learning. If we were stagnant, like the bee thing, we wouldn't learn. So the fact that you are trying and maybe something's not working the way you thought it was, or it's not coming fast, that is your learning experience, and that is bringing you into a new you. But in order to really fully understand that, you have to let go of that perception that you're failing, because you're not. You're expanding and you're exploring and you're trying. It's not failing. It's just learning what isn't working, or learning what isn't working, but then you put it together to realize it wasn't failing the whole time. It was actually a win-win. You just didn't realize it at the time.
I just can't believe the congruencies with all of this, because that's exactly what they were telling me today in the shower was, you guys, it's about process. You look at it as failure. You look at it as that you're not getting it. They're like, no, no, no. It's part of your process. Being human means experiencing process. You cannot experience process in other realms the way you do here. We have very specific limiting rules that we have created in order to exist, in order for us to discover this. And there was things that they even said to me this morning, like, okay, and I don't even know how to articulate this, but it was like I had a thought about something. Then I was able to quickly move my thought process to a different way of thinking, a different perspective of looking at that thing. And they said to me, see, you just had your own process that now you didn't need to draw out the process. All you needed to do was have the process and then be finished with it. Mm-hmm. Your desire to draw out or complete a process is part of your process. I'm like,
it is. Oh. And they even said to me, like, you know, you say that you're upset at so-and-so, like your teams and your guides or whatever. But you're not really upset at them. All you're upset at is yourself. And I was like, whoa, like those are those moments where all of a sudden it kind of clicks and you're like, you're right. I'm upset at myself because for whatever reason, I feel like, you know, it should be different. And once I realized that, I could set that aside and I could move on. And so sometimes, you know, our world is not their world is not our world. And so even communicating back and forth, you have to remember it still has to go through your synopsis in your head. And so just help me out, relaying the message back and forth sometimes.
Yes.
Isn't maybe as easy as like what it was when it went in, because you have to process it into your standards, into the way you see life. And so there's a lot happening there in between all of these messages coming through. And I think once we realize that, we can be a little bit more gentle with ourselves, and then we can recognize it, and just like you did, stop it and look at it from a different perspective. And then not that we're wasting that time, because that time is actually learning, you know, this amount, being upset at self. But, you know, then we can have this amount and be done with it and move on to the next thing. And that's just a growing process.
And isn't that what we say? Isn't that what we say when we have this like realization or whatever? Don't we say, oh my God, I feel like a new person? Because we are. And just as you were talking about it, as you were explaining like how you move through your process, it was as if I could see this new version of you actually being birthed. You know, it's like, and we still don't grasp that, not truly. And something else that Grindel wanted me, he's helped me with some really interesting things. And so something he wanted me to, I still can't even believe the language, how we talk about language and words and how we take the words apart. And so he's showing me, okay. So he's calling us weenies, first of all. And then he says, how did he say that? Like, okay, like say the word and say it out loud. Weenies. And I'm like, and I'm like, oh, so he's saying to me and to you guys,
like our needs,
wean. You know how when you need to wean off of something?
Yep.
Ease. Wean.
Oh my God.
Ease. I'm like, oh my God.
One for Grindel. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm like, and he's like, yeah. So I'm like, wean, ease. Of course, when we complete a cycle, right? When we wean off of something, whether it's a belief, a habit, a thought pattern, a way that we feel about ourselves, Aren't we weaning off of it? And he's saying, you guys, you know, you're such weenies because you think you can't do this stuff. But yet, if you just, and he even said, I will help you wean off of the things that you are still like sucking on, that you don't, that are like sour and nasty, you know? And I'm like, wean ease. I'm like,
it's so amazing.
You know,
I hope you're keeping a separate journal for all of these words.
It's funny that you say that, because I've been really just like you. I'm a journaler, but you know, for these last few months, I've been just living it, and I have not been journaling it. What makes me mad is then I forget so this morning, I'm telling you, as soon as he came through, and I'm like, okay, I have got to journal this, because this is just too freaking me out this morning. And so, and all this animal energy I'm feeling today. So we've got, you know, the reptilian, and then I'm feeling my deer energy, and then the Taurus, the bull energy. And for anybody who lives anywhere where there are deer, you can hear them, the bulls, and it's mating season and all that. So you can hear them in the woods, and they sound like bulls, you know? And so I was laughing about that sound. And then here today, I'm, you know, got my deer and energy and all that. And Ranger in other lives is a deer and a moose. And so I learned that through Jim, by the way, through Chakra. And so speaking of Chakra, and I was laughing because you guys were talking about cats and stuff. And I always feel such high Lyran energy around you anyway, of course. You know, and then you guys were talking about the black cats, and my girlfriend loves cats. My friend Pam, I was just at her house. So what do I pull, you guys? The snow leopard.
Ooh.
So now we've got, you know, the black and the white, but interesting in the background too, the colors are the teal, the blue, the green. So we've got the combination of the heart chakra, the throat chakra,
and the green.
And she's saying, take some time out of your usual life and spend it in solitude. And, you know, isn't that interesting that I have not been journaling? And there were several weeks there where I was spending so much, an inordinate amount of time in solitude versus, you know, putting myself out there, just because this is, and all the time I was doing it. It's funny that you just said what you said, because the whole time I was doing it, I kept beating myself up about it. I should be doing this. I should be making videos. I should be journaling this stuff. Oh my God, this stuff. I should, instead of accepting my process. Yep. Instead of saying, being in solitude, you know, because the snow leopard, I mean, think about it. They're pretty, it's a quiet environment where they live.
Right. And Michael actually came through a couple weeks ago and explained this to me too, because I said, I love having conversations, except when they're during the day and I'm working, I can't write them down. And by the time the nighttime comes, where I actually have time to sit down in solitude and journal, they're gone. And he said to me, the reason we have the conversations when we do in that now is because that is your now for that conversation. If I wanted you to write it down and remember it and journal it, then it would come at that specific time. So the conversations or the enlightenment, whatever you get at that time, is meant for that. Whatever is supposed to get journaled will get journaled. And that's one of those things where, like you and I, we have to remember, okay, so we're not going to beat ourselves up about that, because that's just the way it flows, you know?
Yes. And if I can't accept that in myself, and that, then I can't complete that cycle, and then I can't complete the circuit. Therefore I stay in that cycle of the not good enough cycle, you know.
And I was going to tell, there was something else really, really important while you were talking. So before you were talking about Chakra, you said something. What were you talking about?
I was talking about Grindle and weaning.
Grindle and weaning.
So that was,
well, yes.
Oh, and what else were we talking about? Solitude? No, what else?
What were we talking about?
Oh, and not journaling process.
Yeah. I guess it's not meant for this now.
I guess it'll come back.
So if it's not, then that's okay.
Hi, everybody. I just want to say hi. I saw Kay. Hi, Kay. I just want to say hi to everybody who's out there listening and any new energies coming in. Hi, everybody. Okay, I think we should do some languages. How much time do we have?
Okay, so and this is like, this goes really well in with what our theme has been, Wendy, to allow us the time that we actually want to do stuff together, but set a timer so we're working on that whole balance of everything.
Yes, so yes, we're working on balance, guys, because you guys all know, if you know me and Alicia,
okay, so we have about 10 minutes left, which is really good for starting to kind of wind down and giving our blessings. And
so I want all of you guys to receive this stuff in a way that you never have before, completing these cycles of feeling like the processes that, you know what, they're telling now, you know, there is never, ever, ever a part of the process that doesn't serve you. And really this whole idea of what doesn't serve me anymore is simply that you no longer need to focus on it, because your energy, you realize that perspective, you don't need to focus there anymore. So it's not even a matter of that you can't get rid of anything because there's nowhere for it to go. You're just changing your perspective and your focus so that you can complete that circuitry in your brain or in your DNA. Like even today, I was just reminded of this in the shower, that I heard this and they said to me something like, you know that you have the ability right now to say, or to, how did they say that to me? To reach in to your DNA and, how did they say that to me? Actually reach in and
I know. I
change the molecular structure of that belief.
Yes.
I'm like, okay.
That's one of those translation things where they're like, oh, she'll totally get it. And you're like, what? I remembered.
I know you get it.
I remember what it was, Wendy. Okay. So, the synchronicities of Sal. So when she was talking to whatever animal it was and asked if that animal wanted to be healed, the spider, I think she's talking about a spider. And that spider said yes. I thought, holy crap, this is why we have all these bees downstairs, because they're weird. They're not normal bees, and they like hit the window, but like you can tell their legs aren't working right or their wings aren't working right. And we've had this massive problem, and I just felt really bad because I keep saying, you guys have to leave. You have to leave. You can't be down here because otherwise we have to take actions, and I don't want to have to hurt you. So last night I was in the shower, and there's a spider that's just been chilling up there for like a long time. And I said, hey, I'm going to implement this thing that Sal said. Are you there because you need some healing? And I said, like, just move or something if that's the case. And that's the first time I ever saw that bugger move ever. So I healed it, and it did this little dance. Like it walked back and forth and back and forth. And I thought, dang, okay. Hey, bees, I know you're somewhere like in this foundation somewhere. Are you guys here because you need healing? And they're like with this buzzing noise. In my head, I heard, yes, but you have to like buzz it out, you know? Yes. And I was like, okay, well, why didn't you just tell me? And they're like, we've been flying around here forever. Like you can tell our legs aren't working, like, you know. And I was like, okay, well, let me heal you. Let me see if I can do this, because I know I can do this. Like, I just have to believe. But then you guys have to go, like, because this has been ridiculous. I'm really sorry that I've like killed 100 of your comrades already. Like, you have to go. And they're like, we understand. Like, you have to lose some. We're really glad that you finally figured this out. So here I am, like, healing these bees in the shower. And I kid you not, normally by now there would have been like 30 or 40 bees that we would have had to kill. There was one this morning. So like I'm guessing. And then like with the spider, I said, now just because I healed you doesn't mean you can have like 1 million babies. I said, we have to make some rules. I said, so you and your husband can stay here, but your babies cannot. And I said, not that I don't want them to, but like, it's just not feasible. Okay. And then she's like, okay. She's like, you know, thank you so much. I've been waiting for you to like figure this out. And I was like, you and the bees both. So
what is going on? You know, and I have to say, I was looking for my bag. I didn't want to get up.
So thanks to Sal for that. Cause that's
this whole thing.
Like one of those things where you like, we all have it in us. It's something that you either have to be reminded of, or like you have to have so many things happen to like bring it back up in you. Cause it's all there. It's just, sometimes we forget, you know, sometimes we forget.
Isn't it interesting though, that you had the bees, the bee reference. I got the bee reference.
And did you guys talk about
and
that?
The spider. We were talking about the spider yesterday because, and I still have it right here, you guys. I got my spider, you know, and I bought this probably 30 years ago because it's the symbol of creativity. So yesterday after I hung out with Sal, I was doing some stuff and took Ranger for a walk and sat on the front porch, and it faces west. And so the sun was just coming in. I was taking pictures of the sun, of course, and sun gazing. Like I don't have enough 100,000 photographs of the sun. Literally, you guys, literally it's a sickness, I think. But
it's a sun code sickness.
It's a sun code. I have a light code sickness. So I'm sitting there absorbing these light codes, and what do I see coming down from the front porch is a big spider, and she. And then I'm asking myself, do only she spiders spin webs? And I'm starting to ask the questions, do both, you know, male and female spin webs? And I'm sitting there asking all these questions. And so I was like, the spider. I was like, oh my God. I said, you know, I want to take your picture. So I'm sitting there watching it. And it's a pretty big size one, you know. So I run in the house, go get my camera. I come outside. I sit back on the porch. I'm like, where'd she go? The entire freaking web was gone. The whole thing.
Oh my
God.
God.
I'm like, it wasn't but 2 minutes. I was like, how does this happen? that was so weird.
I was gonna look up spider. Okay, like we're really running out of time. But I was gonna look up spider because we looked at bee before, so I'm just gonna look up spider.
Oh, and then the bee. That was the other thing I want to tell you. Oh, okay. I have to get it, you guys. While she looks up, and then I'm gonna show you the card I just pulled, which y'all are gonna freak out. Y'all are gonna freak out.
Show them.
I received a gift in the mail the other day, and it has bees on it. She sent me a photograph of a bee, and then she made the tote bag out of the photo with a bee on a yellow flower. So the bees, you guys, the bees have it. And so what do? We got the number 9 for today. And what do I pull? The number 11 card. And I'm sorry, I showed you the wrong card. What the heck? Where'd it go? I was like, wait, that's the wrong one. Water elemental, number 11. And look, you guys, it looks like reptilian. It looks aquatic. We've got Syrian energy.
Yep.
Number 11. Look at this. So today.
And the water.
So today's date, I mean, the time of the full moon is 11:45 here. So we've got the 11 and the 9. So I pulled the 11 card. We've got the 9 symbol here. I allow my body, mind, and spirit to flow intuitively through the changes of life.
Oh my God. And that's what come on, you guys. Talk about too.
Seriously? Seriously?
Yeah. Okay. So go. The spider symbolizes creativity, patience, and resourcefulness. It weaves its web and then patiently waits, just like how we have to patiently wait, even though sometimes we get upset, but it's all coming. It patiently waits for its prey to get caught in the sticky fibers. It's a beautiful piece of art. Its beauty belies its intention. It means you are a diligent worker who can create beautiful displays in any physical medium you prefer. Like spiders, you are patient and enjoy the craftsmanship needed to be creative. You're also cunning and have a dark side as you wait for unsuspected prey. My dark side is my patience, sometimes not always but 8 legs, 4 sets, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, which is 3.
Which is the 3 and the 12. Each one of my windows is 12 squares. I'm like, seriously.
It says you have the ability to see more than you let on, but you can also lose sight of the long-term goals. This is what we were all talking about today. You can move quickly and efficiently when needed, but you need time to remain quiet and still, and you're able to multitask often and have many projects going at one time. The talents include choice, craftsmanship, creativity, cunning, cycles, ding, 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 fate, feminine energy, intuitive, patience, protective, rebirth, ding, ding, ding.
Oh my
receptivity, ding, ding, ding. Resourceful and shadow self, ding, ding, ding.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So now we know. And I was just thinking of something. There was, before this whole thing happened yesterday, there was a bee that got caught in a spider's web downstairs. And so not only then, now I'm thinking like, boy, that was really combined together. Because then I was like, oh, thank you, Mr. Spider, for like having that there. Because that's one less bee I have to track down, you know. But
oh my!
Wow!
See, I can't
look at in this.
What a congruency too. The bee and the spider.
Yeah.
In both of our awarenesses in the last 2 days, and then now, you guys, I did not make this stuff up. I swear to you. And I've shuffled these cards right under that number 9. I mean, number 11 card was the number 9, Raphael. Archangel Raphael. So now we got the 9 and the 11 energy. Today equals 9. We've got the 11 and the 9. Is that our timer? See? Look at that, you guys. You can't make this crap up.
Okay,
I invite Archangel
5, 6, 7,
I invite Archangel Raphael to bring healing and knowledge into my life. So here we go, guys.
It's 6. It's 126. 6, 7, 8, 9.
Oh my God. Okay. See? All right. That's it. So there we go. This was perfect timing.
Amazing.
Okay. You leave me. Okay. Go ahead, Alicia. Go ahead and close us out with a blessing.
My blessing for you today is to realize all the power and the majesty that you have within yourself, and realize those connections that are currently bringing out the new yous, and to spread love and light into the world. Nashukate ahokolo shomashina tisiku alitu tu poya sitiana. Bona sakatia totukulo shonoto kiasata iwama bikigu gola janata tusukuhu shikihi I a o I o nati o ya nati o ya da o ya na ya Isia to dia po shona ia o ia na dia to blo dia da kono shotia to kula shona dia to kula o ia na ia o bashu hu li ha haneti ka pashata tu moso dia paula bo ya jania ta ya upia dia ta to dia ta dia to dia ta to dia ta dia to dia ta dia to dia ta bo dia la mo dia ta to kulo to dia ta lo le ta dia to le ta dia to dia na ta kia shata hanasa bu dia ta mahana bulushiata samyaka naniasta. Namaste.
Whew.
I'm a little hot.
That was like different. Wow.
Maybe it was the bee and the bee and the spider combining to create that energy of
that was very, very interesting. I don't think I've ever heard that particular sound waves coming from you.
I know. I was thinking as this was going, I was like, this is a little new. This is a little interesting.
That's interesting. I was hearing, as you were speaking, it was almost like not a pleading. That's not the word I want to use. It was like, no, just know that you are always, absolutely always receiving moment by moment exactly what you need. And it is your perception, and only your perception, the eyes that you are using through filters to see things. That's and so you're always experiencing absolutely what you need when you need it. And it's just your perception that changes that knowing. So I know that all of you have received what you needed to receive today and will continue to receive. And that was for she and I too, that we have received exactly what we needed to today, and that we are sending exactly what we needed to send today as well. Hana kaliato sanashe. Sinisiana kalianto sonobadiashano kalianta serako sonapalehana kaliato samoleshe. Sonosolehashano kaliato sonoteliata shanate. Because your creation is always a reflection of what you are sending vibrationally. Nisatosha, and what you need to receive in order to fulfill your path and complete each cycle. Niasotosha mikila sonoshoda kilana nanteasa. Samiando somaliando sonotale kandasha shana kiliando sopalahadaki and sonale aqua. Plashana such a shanamiando somalikola sochero sonotelakia. These synchronicities are the flow. These synchronicities are the true, your true core vibration. Niasotosomekia uisatoshana killa son cero sonoteshe. You are a completely new version of you, moment by moment by moment, as you choose the processes of which to complete. Mahala, namaste. Thank you, my dear, for once again. And now maybe you'll go back to work with a little bit or bigger spring in your step.
Yes, I will. This is so wonderful. This is exactly what I needed.
Thank you so much for the synchronicity and the alchemy.
It'll work together. It's all going to flow wonderfully. I'll probably be able to get, the 10 times the amount done that I normally would have.
And that's the point, you guys. You'll always get done exactly what you need to get done when you need to get it done. And by following your highest excitement first, you will be able, just like she said, you work smarter, not harder, and you're going to be able to get twice as much done. And remember, whatever you didn't get done today didn't need to be done. That's it. Yeah, Soltoshe. Love you, girl. Love you guys. Thanks for joining us in this galactic gathering. And once again, you guys, you can find us if you need private sessions. Here we are. Come find us, share our stuff. If there's people you think that can benefit from this information. One of my downfalls is I really don't share this stuff on social media to groups or anything like that. So please, if you guys feel inclined to support this channel and us and this information, simply by sharing it out, out into the groups that you guys belong to that I just don't physically have time to do. That to me, you guys have no idea what a blessing that is for me when you feel, when you share that stuff. So I really appreciate it.
If you resonate with it, or if somebody, a lot of times this happens to me and you too, Wendy, like you resonate with it and then somebody's name pops in your head, send it to them. That's
yes,
supposed to happen.
Even if you're not sure, you know how many people I've like made lifelong friends with because I took that initiative and said, I feel like sending this to, or the amazing people, how many people I've met, you guys, how many people I have met who've said, what? I'm just going to message her. I'm just going to email her. And you know what? That's how this happens. So we are your galactic family, and each and every one of us are connecting in this way so we can receive the vibrations from our galactic families. Love you guys. We're going to go off the broadcast now. So see you guys later. And until the next galactic gathering, remember, we love you and you are always supported and loved completely, utterly, and unconditionally. Thank you for sharing this sacred space with us. Mahala. Namaste.
Namaste. Send your light out there, guys.